Welcome back, Truth Seeker. NFL Week 16. What we're going to do is decode the 2 Saturday games, and then tomorrow at the regular time, we'll decode the Sunday games, and we'll observe what happens on Saturday to help us in our Sunday decode. Let me make sure that we're transmitting here and people are in the chat. All right. Whoa. All right. We already got 25 people here. I see your comment, Ronald, Jason. Here, let me get this guy a wrench. There's some new people here. Give you guys wrenches. If you have a wrench, don't ban anybody, but if you have a wrench, you can, you'll be able to share a link if you need to share a link in the chat. So I see quite a few new people here this week. All right. Let's go over these games here. We got 2 games to look at. It shouldn't take too long. I think a big number this week is going to be 96. Potentially also 33. When you write out 16, just using the alphabetic order, it's 96. We have 2 teams that can potentially become 9-6 on Saturday. One of those games would be an upset. So the Redskins, big underdogs, playing in Tennessee. Last weekend, we saw Josh Johnson become 1-5 as a starter. We thought he might become 1-5 in week 15. I think this week it's very likely he becomes 1-6 in week 16. And here's some things to look at. The date numerology for the Saturday games, we got a 45 date numerology. That's the 9th triangular number. Strong relationship with 45 and 9. The Titans have a chance to pick up their 9th win and become 9-6. They can also get their 6th home win. When you write out 6, it equals 52. We have this 52 date numerology. Tennessee's also 52. The only thing to consider is if Tennessee got upset, they would become 5-2 at home. Tennessee is 52. It's a possibility, but I don't expect that to happen. Not only is it date with 45 numerology, the 9th triangular number. Again, when you add 1 through 9, it equals 45. But it's also the day leaving 9 days left in the year. Again, we're in the 99th NFL season. This will be the 13th game between the Redskins and Titans. The series is tied 6-6. The Titans to date are 3-2 at home against the Redskins. The only thing that's scary there is they could potentially fall to 3-3 in week 16, which is 33. And I guess for just another thought, Tennessee is 137, the 33rd prime. Washington, D.C. is also 137, where the Redskins are out of. So, I mean, there are a few riddles here and there, but I think what's going to prevail is the 9 thing. The date has a strong connection to 9. 9-6 in week 16 makes a lot of sense. Oh, yeah. And something else I wanted to mention. So this regular season, there's 4 games on Saturday. There's none next week. There were 2 last week. And last week, both away teams won. I'll just pull those up in case you forget. Last week, both the away teams won on Saturday. Let me just pull up those games here for a moment. The Texans won at New York. The Browns won at the Broncos. So home teams were winless on Saturday. I'm wondering if we might see only one home team win out of these 4 games. Then it would be something like 1-3. The word home equals 13. When you write out 13, it's 99. It's the 99th NFL season. The final games for these Saturday games are being played on the day leaving 9 days left in the year. I don't know if I'm thinking too much, but sometimes we see riddles like this. So it's just a thought I'm having. Anyhow, let's look at a few more things here. Josh Johnson, the starter for the Redskins, came in and got his first win. He's 1-5 as a starter. He's 1-2 away. He could fall to 1-3 away and 1-6 in week 16. For Mariota, it's his 57th game. He's 27-29. He's 15-11 at home. He can get his 16th home win in week 16. In the regular season, he can also get his 16th home win. So some rhyme and reason to that. The game's on Mariota's 54th day of his age. Redskins equals 54. I talked about how in Monday Night Review, it seems that overwhelmingly this season, and this seems to differ from years past. In years past, when a birthday distance number pointed to a certain team, it seemed that that team won more often than not. This year, it's been the exact opposite. So to me, from what I've observed this year, the fact that it's like Mariota has the Redskins number. It's the way you might read it this year. So overwhelmingly, this pattern with team name lining up with a certain thing, it's gone against that team this year. I think that's in favor of the Titans. Gruden, the coach of the Redskins, he can get his 43rd loss. Titans equals 43. Good team to get the 43rd loss against. Again, Vrabel, it's his first season as head coach. He's 8-6. He can get his 9th win as well. Nothing jumped out so much about the distance and the birthdays for the coaches. I noticed the ref, John Hussey, number 35, his name equals 45 forwards and backwards. 45 has that strong connection to 9. If the Redskins lost this game and next week against the Eagles, they'd fall to 7-9, kind of like 79, the 22nd prime number. They'd finish 7-9 by losing to the Eagles. The Eagles has the gematria 22, 79, the 22nd prime. So I think the Titans look good here at home, and I'm wondering if they might be the only home team. The Ravens-Chargers game has a little bit of a tricky narrative, but there's quite a bit on the board for the Ravens. Before we get to that, let me go to the chat and see what you guys are thinking about this game here. What's up? What's up, Focus Faith? Let's see. A few other people need oh shoot, I gotta zoom out to give people wrenches. All right, you need a wrench. Let me see. Well, we're just doing the Saturday games tonight. I really like the Browns this week. That's a game I sure like. I like Baker Mayfield getting to 6-6, but that's not till Sunday. All right, let me see what you guys are saying here. All right, I see what Lakin's saying. He's thinking that maybe the Titans fall to 8-7 against the Redskins in their 87th season. Let's see. Jarrett thinks the Redskins stay alive tomorrow. Hold on. I hate how it makes it so you cannot make somebody a moderator unless it's zoomed all the way out. Why do they design it that way? Oh, whoops. I didn't want to remove. That is not what I thought you'd. What? What'd I just do? All right. There are a lot of new people here this week. I never had to give out so many wrenches. All right, let's see. Let me see. Just making sure everybody's got a wrench. All right. All right. So John says Redskins going for 421st regular season win since Super Bowl era. Tennessee 421. And it's been 421 weeks since the last time the Redskins played in Tennessee. Let me come in. So 421st regular season win in the Super Bowl era. Okay, I didn't look at that. That is a really interesting stat. You got to make sure it's all correct. Here, let's just take a peek at that. Redskins, Titans head to head. Okay, let's see. You said all right, at Tennessee. So the last time they played was November 21st, 2010. All right. Well, it's 420 weeks and 6 days. It's closer to 422 weeks. So and then here you said, all right, let's mq.net. Let's see. NFL teams. Washington Redskins. Or I guess I can just do this. NFL series records. All right, let's see. Washington Redskins. I don't know what stats you got. It doesn't look like there's a 421 on the board here either. Let's make sure that we're throwing out accurate stats so we're not just wasting time looking at things that aren't correct. All right, so I don't see the 421 alignment that you were talking about. And I mean, so Jason points out that Joshua Johnson has a, are you saying his birthday has 52 date numerology? This is the problem with doing the group discussion. Everyone starts looking at like every different quarter and angle. These aren't the ways we normally decode games. Let's see. 10, 18, 24, 29, 35, 20. He has 44 birth numerology. Were you saying that his name gematria is 52? Let me see. Joshua Johnson's 52. Okay. All right. Make a note that his name is 52. So that is the one tricky thing in the Titans record. They could become 5-2 at home, or they could get their 6th home win as well. 6 also has the connection to 52. We talked about that with Monday Night Football, and the Panthers losing 6 straight on the Pope's birthday. Let's see. The one observation I did like is the potential for the Titans to fall to 8-7 in the Redskins' 87th season. The Redskins would also become 8-7, so I think that's a worthy note. But I was following this, how the date is strong with 9 and 16 is good with 96. You know, that's what I see in the date. I see 9 being the strongest number. All right. Oh, shoot. Let's see. Let's see. Just reading over your guys' comments real quick. Jake says, if the Skins lose, how are they going to make the playoffs? We had them penciled in for the Super Bowl. Well, since about week 1, 2, 3, that was in the preseason. Since about week 1, 2, 3, I've said I'd rank the Redskins under the Saints and the Rams. So, I mean, we're in week 16 now. The Redskins had a nice narrative before the season began, but once we saw how the riddle started to fall in play in the early weeks, I said you can rank the Redskins as the long shot under the Rams and Saints. So, I mean, been talking about that for all season now. Well, the one Bear Star area that we know that's definitely relevant to the NFL this year is what the Tom Brady one from July 4th. So, all right, John has a lot of interesting stats for the Redskins. The one narrative to consider about Redskins upset here is the 8-7 thing in the Redskins' 87th season, because both teams would be 8-7. But still, the date has strong 9 connections. All of these numbers also break down to 9 here. 72 is 9 in numerology, 45 is 9, 18 is 9. 9 days left in the year. Again, when you write out 16, it equals 96. Titans can become 9-6. If the Redskins did win, they would become 5-3 away, though. That is interesting. It is the 53rd season. The Redskins had a whole lot of 53 connections, which is why we liked them before the season began. But the Redskins riddle also had a lot to do with Alex Smith, who's out for the year now. If they did become 5-3, 53 is a bit like the 16th prime number. So let me double check the stadium name. Nissan Stadium, Nashville, Tennessee has the 16 connection, 136, the 16th triangular number. Let's see. Wait, there we go. Nashville, Tennessee is also 72, huh? Well, you guys did make some good observations to make a case for the Redskins. But I still think the 16 narrative stronger, with Johnson falling to 1-6 in week 16 and Mariota getting his 16th win in week 16. And then again, that 9th win, because the date has a lot of 9 numerology. So again, the coaches, they can be hit or miss, but it would make sense for Gruden to get his 43rd loss as well. I don't know how the 36th win would fit in. Another thing I'll say, though, in the Redskins' favor is if they did become 8-7, they do play the Philadelphia Eagles next week. And Philadelphia Eagles in the most pure cipher is 87. So that is interesting. Make a note about that too. All right, John, I see what you're saying, but even still, even if all that is accurate, like you said at first, it's still a lot more abstract than just the typical things that we look at each week that lead us to the winners. The date has a lot of 9 connections. So there are a few narratives on the board for the Redskins, but I just don't see them doing what we thought with Alex Smith. So. Okay. So the other game that's Saturday is the Ravens at the Chargers. And one thing to think about is, are the Chargers going to win 13 games this year? Because LA's 13. When you write out 13, it equals 99. It's the 99th NFL season. There was the story about Phillip Rivers, how he has his 9th child on the way. That came the day he got his 9th win. Or is this 9-6 thing going to play this weekend? And are the Ravens going to sneak into the playoffs? I thought since the beginning of the year, the Ravens would have to be a playoff team because Baltimore is where the national anthem was written. And we were right before the season began that this year would be about the national anthem and the War of 1812 and the Battle of New Orleans. The first game of the season was 18-12. So it's hard to imagine the Ravens not getting into the playoffs. And I don't know if this game's necessarily a must win, but if they do win this game, it's definitely going to help their odds of getting in. The games in Carson, California, I noticed Carson had gematria 25, 34, 38, like Ravens, and the official is number 34 on the field. Oh, by the way, we did. We covered the ref in the last game. Yeah, we did. Saturday has gematria of 109 and 53, like Los Angeles. Los Angeles is a 53 and 109. Again, we got this same date numerology, date connecting to 9 in a big way. Can the Ravens get their 9th win on this day? With regards to the 34 date numerology, Maryland and Ravens is 34. The ref is number 34. The Chargers don't have a connection to that number. This will be the 12th game. The Ravens lead 6-5. When you write out 6, it equals 52. Baltimore Ravens is also 66. Series could potentially become 6-6. The Chargers could pick up their 6th win in the series on a date with 52 numerology. That's there. The Chargers are 4-3 at home against the Ravens. Los Angeles equals 53. Saturday equals 53. Chargers could become 5-3 at home against the Ravens on Saturday, or the Chargers could fall to 5-3 at home on the season. This is their last home game. If they lost, they'd be 5-3. It's the year ending with Super Bowl 53. Los Angeles equals 53. That'd be a really fitting home record for Los Angeles in this season. 5-3. Again, the Ravens have a chance to become 9-6, just like the Titans do. In week 16, when you write out 16, it equals 96. In the Ravens case, Baltimore Ravens also sums to 96. They have one more connection to this number 96. Let me zoom this in. So 16 is 96, Baltimore Ravens 96. With an upset, they become 9-6. Lamar Jackson, this is his 6th game on the 52-day. He's 4-1 and 1-1 away. If he lost, he'd be 1-2 away. Los Angeles equals 37, the 12th prime, kind of like 1-2, coming 1-2 in Los Angeles. For Rivers, it's his 216th game. He's 121-94 and 68-39 at home. He can get his 95th loss against Baltimore. Baltimore's 95 with the alphabetic order. It's Rivers' 207th regular season game. He's 117-89 and 66-37 at home. This is tricky. If he won, he'd be 118-89. Los Angeles, California is 118. It's also 89. If he lost, his home record would be 66-38. Ravens is 38. Baltimore Ravens is 66. Thus, his record could make sense with a win or a loss for the regular season. With a loss, though, his regular season record and his all-time record have rhyme and reason to it. Because you can get that 95th loss all-time. For Anthony Lynn and Harbaugh, nothing really jumps out so much. Other than if Lynn got a loss, he'd get his 11th loss. He's the coach of the Chargers. He'd get it against the Baltimore Ravens. Baltimore Ravens equals 66. That's the 11th triangular number. For Harbaugh, the game's on his 91st day of his age. 91's the 13th triangular number. He's playing in LA 13. Again, the ref is Clete Blakeman. Clete Blakeman, number 34. Maryland 34. Ravens 34. 34 date. Clete Blakeman's name in gematria sums to 41. LA equals 41 and 13. 41, the 13th prime number. If LA loses, they cannot get to 13 wins. Be impossible. The best they could finish with is 12. So that's the one thing about LA. That said, it could make sense if they finished with 12 wins on the season LA because Los Angeles equals 37, the 12th prime. But again, it is the 99th NFL season. Phillip Rivers had the story about his 9th child on the way the day he got his 9th win. I think that was November 25th, the same day where he started with 25 completions. NFL record 25 for 25. So it's a close call here with the Ravens game. But I think that there are enough numbers on the board for the Ravens, and they have the narrative of the national anthem to think they could upset here. Pull out the upset. I should also note, if LA did win, this is their final home game, they'd get their 12th win. Again, Los Angeles 37, the 12th prime. Last game in Los Angeles for the Chargers. And here, let's look at the Chargers schedule real quick. They play the Broncos next at Denver. And the Ravens' schedule, their last game's against the Browns. They originally came from Cleveland, the Ravens did. So come out to the chat and see what you guys are thinking. Denham says Phillip Rivers can get his 122nd win all time on 12/22. The date kind of looks like the win total. Ron likes the ref, number 34, that being a big number with Baltimore. John says Lynn can receive 21st win and Harbaugh can receive 73rd regular season loss. But we don't have a connection to 21 for this game. If they were playing on Sunday, that would make sense because the Sunday games have 73 date numerology, but these games are on Saturday. So the Chargers fell to 5-3 at home. That's a bit like 53, the 16th prime. And that is something to think about with the Redskins. Here, we got a call here. Let's see what the caller has to say. What's up, caller?
Hey, Zach. I find it interesting that Phillip Rivers could pick up his 122nd all-time win at home, with his birthday 13 days ago on the 122nd Meridian. And
who's on the 122nd Meridian?
LA, right?
No.
California?
LA's not on the LA's on the 118th Meridian.
It's 122 something. I know it's what is it? I know you always talk about that.
San Francisco and LA aren't on the same meridian.
Okay, got you. He can pick up his 122nd on 12/22, and the next game would be on 12/30, 1, 2, 3, and he'll possibly beat Denver to get his 123rd on that day. So I think that's interesting.
Okay, yeah, that is interesting. That's interesting.
Yeah, that's all.
All right, yeah, it's a good observation. Thank you.
All right.
So yeah, that is a thought that if Rivers wins this game and he wins the next game, he could get his 123rd win on 12/30. And again, there's a part of me that's going, doesn't it feel like LA has to win 13 games in the 99th NFL season? LA 13, the strong relationship with 99. So it makes this one tough. But there's a lot of numbers on the board for the Ravens to get the upset here. So this game's tight. This game's a tight narrative. The referee, though, does have the numbers for Baltimore, and we've seen how important the ref numbers have been in these games since we've been keeping track. The game on December 30th will also be a date with 53 numerology. Just thinking about that. That last game of the season has 53 date numerology. I'll come back here. Josh Johnson's jersey number is 8, huh? Let's see. Okay. John Harbaugh got a contract extension today. Let me see that. Yeah, that's interesting. You got to love the number 25 in the background. Ravens has that gematria 25. Another thing we're going to talk about tomorrow is this college basketball game right here. Did you guys see this score yesterday? And Pittsburgh's going to be playing New Orleans this week. How about that? Talk about that tomorrow. But yeah, we got to keep our eyes open for the headlines. Sometimes the headlines are big clues. So I didn't know that about the John Harbaugh contract. See another guy who needs a moderator thing. Ron thinks the Chargers got to pay one back after the big upset over the Chiefs. D'Angelo says Ravens eliminated last year in Week 17. This year the Ravens make the playoffs in Week 17. Here, let's look at the let's look at the standings real quick. See what we got going on over here. All right. We're expecting the Patriots to win their final 2 games at home over the Bills and Jets and get to 11 wins, so they should win their conference. Chiefs and Chargers. Chiefs got the Seahawks this week. Chargers got the Ravens. Both playing bird teams. The Chiefs have all the 99 connections. Patrick Mahomes Jr., Arrowhead Stadium. LA has the connection to 99 through the number 13. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. All 3 of those will be playoff teams. Steelers, Ravens. Let's see something here. Steelers play the Saints this week. And then the Bengals at home. So the Steelers have an easy game in the last week. But sometimes those easy games, they end up being the surprise, right? So we haven't done the decode on it yet. Let's just assume the Steelers went 1-1, they'd be 9-6-1. So the Ravens to get in, well, I guess okay, so we got to follow this Baltimore and Ravens thing. Remember, their seasons began as mirrors, the Colts and Ravens, and they had a riddle with the Bengals. It used to be the Baltimore Colts. So Colts and Titans are the teams that could potentially play spoiler to the Ravens right now. All right. The Ravens won out, they would definitely make it. If they won one more game and some other teams got the right losses, they could get in too. So they don't necessarily have to win this week to get in. All right. So that's not a must. It's not a must win for the Ravens, but it would be a big help. Let's see. D'Angelo said Travis Scott is performing in the Super Bowl and his concert tour began in Baltimore. That's really interesting. Lakin says that Josh got his first start on December 16th, 49 days to Super Bowl 53. All right. Lamar said he's going to win a Super Bowl, huh? The Laker game has been up for hours. Denham likes the Chargers to win the Super Bowl. Well, they do have a connection to 99. Let me see something. What Chargers? I want to see what season they're in, the Chargers again. Are they in their 59th season too? Yeah. They're in their 59th. A lot of teams are this year. D'Angelo says Ravens finished 10-6. I'm just thinking about this out loud. We just looked at the picture with John Harbaugh. John Harbaugh with the coaching extension. Or that's what I want. And they have that 25 in the background. That's a big number with the Ravens, right? 25. The most pure cipher Ravens is 25. Remember, 97 is the 25th prime number. 97, the 25th prime. Could the Ravens finish 9-7 and sneak into the playoffs? It's possible. Other teams are going to have to lose. So, Ravens' last game of the season is against the Browns. But again, with so many nines on the board for these games, it's why I favored the teams that could get 9 wins. That's the riddle I was reading here. The 9 wins on the day, leaving 9 days left in the year in the 99th NFL season. And 9-6 again relates with 16. Chargers would fall to 5-3 at home, like 53, the 16th prime. The only question, though, is it more important for the Chargers to win 13 games this year? So, all right, hold on. Yeah, I know that, Mike. Good reminder. In light of your Phillip Rivers Super Bowl theory, it makes me think of Drew Brees because he used to be on the Chargers. It is an interesting thought, Denham. Rob says the Los Angeles team to win 13 games will be the Rams. It could potentially be both of them, you know. The Rams got the star player number 99, Aaron Donald, whose name equals 99, and he ended his holdout 99 days after his birthday. Plus his birthday is 523, like 523, the 99th prime. Rob Jennings pointed out that contract extension equals 96. Is that right? Huh. That is funny. That is funny. That could be a big winning clue right there. The contract extension before Yeah, it is curious that it happens right now, just before the Week 16 game. Let me see. John says Pittsburgh Steelers equals 1,051 in Jewish, and they could finish 10-5-1. That is really interesting. That's a good observation. They got to beat the Saints. Denham says, does Lamar Jackson fall to 4-2 like 42 number coded all over Black history? You know what, Denham? That's a really good thought because the whole time that Lamar Jackson was playing at Louisville, his birthday was the same as Muhammad Ali's. And then when he got to the NFL, they changed his birthday. He used to have the same birthday as Muhammad Ali. And remember, Muhammad Ali went to Louisville. Muhammad Ali got the 19-mile funeral procession, and then Lamar Jackson appeared out of nowhere and became the star of college football as a 19-year-old. 19, the special number in the Quran. But, notice Muhammad Ali's 96 as well. Does he lead his team to 9-6? So, yeah, the thought about 4-2 with Lamar Jackson, it is a worthy thought. Somebody said, what happened with the Seattle pick? Are you talking about for the Sunday games? We'll go over all those. Seattle can get its 19th win on the 19-date numerology. Seattle's 19. Let's see. So Legan likes the Titans to lose out and finish 7-9. No, they can't go 7-9. I don't understand your comment about how the Titans can go 7-9. I don't see that. They're 8-6. Or you're saying that the Redskins will end up going 7-9? Maybe that's what you're saying. Let's see. Sorry, Dave. Yeah, that's Seattle game, man. That's Seattle game. In that Seattle game, it was ref number 135. And again, 135 is the big Philadelphia number. And Philadelphia and the Bay Area are connected in sports. And I'm wondering if the Seahawks losing that game is the start of the Eagles slipping in. The Seahawks would have to choke away the season, though. So we'll talk more about that tomorrow. But there definitely seems to be a connection there in light of what happened in San Francisco. Yeah, that's in Francis Bacon gematria, John. Yeah, I'm not sure how relevant Francis Bacon is in these decodes. Later, focus. Lakin says that if you write out 12, it equals 87, and Marcus can get his 12th loss. But I wouldn't start doing that. I'd stay more with the NFL week we're in. If we were in NFL week 12, I would think that's relevant. If we were playing on a date with 12 numerology or on the 12th. All right, you guys got in my head with the Titans game. I thought that one was a pretty clear read, but it did take me back to what we were thinking about at the beginning of the season with the Redskins' 87th season and that being a big number for them. It is true that with the Redskins upset, both teams become 8-7. And what's nice is if we were real confident on the Redskins, I'm sure they're a good payout as a 10-point underdog. It's just, again, I see the point you guys are making with the Redskins. I mean, I wouldn't bet a lot of money on them, but maybe because there is a narrative there, it's worth a small bet if it's a good payout. But I'm telling you, because of the Week 16 and the 9s that are connected to the date, it's hard to overlook the Titans picking up their 9th win of the season. That said, the Titans losing will help Baltimore sneak into the playoffs if they need to. So, all right, let's just review this stuff real quick. Last week, I gave the advice of maybe just watching the Saturday games and see what numbers fall and see if we can pick up on patterns to use for the rest of the Sunday games. And honestly, that's what I would do again. You know, just watch and observe these two games. We'll probably get some big clues that'll help us confirm what we're thinking for Sunday. And but let's again go over this. So you guys have made the point. It's the Redskins' 87th season. If the Redskins get an upset here, both teams are 8-7. It's possible. That said, it's Week 16. You write out 16, it sums to 96. We have a date with several connections to 9, plus it's the day leaving 9 days left in the year. It's the 99th NFL season. 9s have been big this year. Titans can become 9-6. 16 equals 96. Now, there is something in the head-to-head record for these teams. If the Redskins won, they'd be 3-3 against each other. Washington, D.C. equals 137. Tennessee's 137. That's the 33rd prime. So there is something there with that. Then again, with the QB records, it makes more sense for the Titans to win. Johnson would fall to 1-6 in Week 16, like how he became 1-5 in Week 15, and Mariota would get his 16th home win. And remember what we said about Nashville, Tennessee. Nashville TN, like how you'd write on an envelope, is 136. That's the 16th triangular number. So those numbers go together like peas in a pod. The game is 53 days after Mariota's birthday. That's the 16th prime. Or it's on his 54th day of his age. He's facing the Redskins. Gruden, the coach of the Redskins, can pick up his 43rd loss. Titans 43. Good team to get the 43rd loss against. And the ref, John Hussey, he has this connection to 45. Again, the 9th triangular number on the day leaving 9 days left in the year. I don't know how his jersey number connects to either team, though. Number 35, I don't see where that fits in. His name, though, has the connection to 9, and the only team that has a shot at a 9 here is the Titans. So I'd say, we've seen that the refs are big clues. Okay, just to play devil's advocate, I was trying to think of something. 35 does break down to 8 in numerology, but we haven't made any observations with the jersey number in that way. But both teams would be at 8 wins if the Redskins got the upset. The Redskins can finish 7-9 if they lose this game and lose to the Eagles. 79 is the 22nd prime. Eagles 22. Titans is also 79. So, I favor the Titans here, but because there is a narrative on the board for a Redskins upset, if the payout is enough, maybe take the risk. If this pays something like 5-1 or 6-1, maybe put a little bit of money down, So I do think it's more likely the Titans pull this out based on the numbers on the board. John, who had some really interesting stats, if his stats are accurate, he swears they are. And from what I've seen this year, John has been mostly accurate. I thought he made a mistake when I looked at it, but he said, no, it's good. John did have some interesting numbers here for a Redskins upset. You know, John always goes super deep with his decodes. Sometimes I think he goes a little bit too far because oftentimes when we review these games, we just see how it came back to the date numerology, the NFL week we're in. In recent weeks, we're seeing how the ref jersey number is a strong indicator. Last week, we also saw how the ref name gematria was highly relevant. So, okay, Ravens, Chargers. Again, we have a parallel here. The Ravens with an upset become 9-6, like 96 in week 16. With the Chargers loss, they become 5-3 at home in their last home game. Los Angeles 53, the year of Super Bowl 53. 53 is the 16th prime number. The only thing is, if the Chargers lose, they cannot get to 13 wins on the season, which is the big symbolic number this year. I predicted that the top teams in the conference would have 13 wins this year. I thought one of those teams would be the Patriots, but I have pointed out that, you know, if you can't get 13, you can also get 11, and that makes sense too because 11 has the gematria of 99. It's hard to imagine the Chargers losing their final 2 games. But again, if the Chargers lost one and won one, they'd be at 12 wins. Los Angeles 37, the 12th prime. Could make sense too. 13 though. Again, think about how important 13 is. When you write out 13, it's 99. The United States of America is 99. 13 stripes on the flag. This year has a lot to do with the flag and the national anthem. 13 colonies. Notice the over-under on this game's -4.5. Again, we got this 45 date numerology. I guess the other thing about 45 is when you write out 13, it's 45 forwards and backwards with the reduction ciphers. The date numerology, we have a 52 connection. Chargers is 52. They're 5-2 at home already. We have a 34 date connection, and we have ref number 34. Ravens come in 3-4 on the road. Maryland's 34. Ravens is 34. And again, ref number 34. 12th game between these two teams. The Ravens lead 6-5. Baltimore Ravens equals 66. If you do the exception with S, it's also 75. Got to keep that in mind. Both teams could be at 6 games apiece, 6-6. When you write out 6, it's 52 to go with the 52 date numerology. The Chargers are 4-3 at home against the Ravens. They can improve to 5-3 in week 16 on Saturday. Saturday is 53 like Los Angeles. But what's hard about that is, again, the Chargers could also fall to 5-3 at home. So that 5-3 riddle could work either way. Ravens, that 9-6 thing, it is it's there. 2 teams can become 9-6 in these Saturday games. Lamar Jackson, it's his 6th game. He's 4-1. Again, Baltimore's 41. We liked him to win last week because of that. The thing about 42 is, you know, it does have the thing with Black history. I don't know exactly how 5-1 would necessarily fit in. That said, if he won all of his games this year, he'd finish, well, his remaining 2 games, he'd finish 6-1, like 61, the 18th prime number. If Jackson did lose this game at the same time, he'd be 1-2 away in Los Angeles, 37, the 12th prime. 12, 1-2. Rivers can get his 95th loss against Baltimore. That makes sense. We talked about how his regular season record would make sense with a win or a loss. But again, only with a loss does his all-time record make sense and his regular season record. So here's what you want to look at for how the records could work out. I just want to look at the Chargers schedule real quick for the entire season. I want to see if they played. No, it's not there. Okay, I just want to see if they played a certain team. Actually, I just got another thought. Let me see. Yeah, no, it doesn't matter. Anthony Lynn, the coach of the Chargers, his record could make a bit of sense if he lost. The contract extension thing was very interesting. Let's point out that Harbaugh contract extension news. Contract extension did equal 96, like Baltimore Ravens. That's the other thing about the Baltimore Ravens improving to 9-6. So. There's a lot of numbers on the board for the Ravens to win, but if the riddle's about the Chargers getting 13 wins this year, it'll trump it. So Chargers could potentially get their 6th home win on this date with 52 numerology too. Another thing that needs to be noted. Lakin says that when you write out December 22nd, it equals 222 and 87. Let me check that out. December 22nd. Ah, that's a really good observation there. That's a really good observation. Now you got me thinking maybe you guys are right about this Redskins upset, because I saw that the quarterback for the Redskins, it's on his 222nd day of his age this game. Okay. You got a good point there. Got a good point. Denham does make a good point about the Chargers potentially going 13-3 in Colorado. That is a great thought that you just said there. Colorado and football are both 133. Colorado's 133. Football's 133. Remember last year the top 4 teams were 13-3, and the Super Bowl was in Minnesota, another state that has the 133 thing going. So. Yeah, right. The Patriots began the season with 523 wins. One of the things we liked about the Patriots this year, New England equals 99. Lakin also brings, okay, so you guys are having some good thoughts here. If the Chargers lost, if the Chargers lost this week, they would fall to 11-4. Remember, the Chargers and Cleveland Browns game was a big LeBron James riddle, and it was about 114. If the Chargers lost, they would fall to 11-4. That's the big LeBron James number. And we talked about that earlier this year in the Chargers and Browns game, which was how we picked the Chargers to beat the Browns. Yeah. It's a tricky game here at the Ravens and Chargers. I keep saying that, but it is, because there's a lot of narrative here for the Ravens to pull out a W. But again, it's just like, does LA not get 13 wins this year? 13-99 so strong, and LA is the land of 13. So that ref jersey number, though, points in favor of the Ravens. His name gematria, though, Clete Blakeman, equals 41, like how LA also does have gematria of 41 and 13. 2 weeks ago, though, in the even week, it seemed that it was about the jersey number. So Somebody's going to get to 13 wins in the AFC. That's for sure. They won't all be at 11-5. Dave says, Zach, you think Baltimore can mirror the Colts? I have a feeling that if it comes down to one of those two teams to be in the playoffs this year, it's going to be Baltimore again because it goes back to the national anthem thing. So I'm wondering if the Colts dog for Baltimore to get in. And really, crazy things always happen at the end of the NFL season to make things work out. There's always unexpected finishes. I am just thinking about if the Ravens are 9-7 and sneak in, 97 is the 25th prime number. So 9-7 actually makes a lot of sense for the Ravens record. They'd probably be more likely to beat Cleveland than LA on the road, but still, numbers are good for Baltimore this week. Hold on. Let me see this point you're making about Phillip Rivers and 118 wins. Okay. You know what? Maybe the Chargers do finish the season with 12 wins because 118 is the huge Los Angeles number. Los Angeles has 3 connections to 118. 3. And just in case you forget what they are, Los Angeles, California is 118. With English extended, it's 647, which is the 118th prime number, and the city's on the 118th meridian. So this will be his last chance to get his 118th win for this season in Los Angeles, though. It could be that about 118. This is his last home game, so he can only get 118 in LA in this season. I don't think Phillip Rivers is done, though, this year. I guess to play devil's advocate, if he didn't win, he probably, Denham thinks they're going to the Super Bowl. And they got to, I don't want to put down that pick. If I'm wrong about the Patriots, the Chargers are right there. They do have numbers that would align. They don't have as good of numbers as the Chiefs, I would say, but they did just beat the Chiefs in a miracle game in Kansas City by the numbers. God, this game's killing me. You guys really, if you're feeling strong on one team in these games, ride with it. If you guys are right about the Redskins, that's going to pay a lot. It's just, I don't know. It'd be amazing if Josh Johnson came in and took the Redskins to the playoffs. It's hard to imagine. The Titans this year have just been such a hit or miss team. You don't know what Titans team's going to show up. Them being 5-2 at home in Tennessee, there is a rhyme and reason to it. I just got to say, guys, before we started this thing, you guys made some good observation on the Redskins. I was thinking the Titans were a good pick for tomorrow, but you guys have definitely torn my confidence apart. I got to admit it. In this Ravens-Chargers game, it's tough because the Ravens got the numbers, but if the narrative is for the Chargers to win 13 games, then obviously they have to prevail. Still, from everything that we've looked at, and now especially looking at the ref, there are a lot of numbers on the board. for the Ravens. So, and then that thing that you guys just pointed out at contract extension 96. That's a headline right now with the Ravens with a chance to improve to 9-6. What Ron wrote is what my initial instinct was, because that would be the most clear narrative with Week 16. So Saturday games are tomorrow. It's Friday. We'll decode the Sunday games tomorrow if that's what you meant. Lamar Jackson's 118. I didn't catch that. Let me check that out. Oh, you're right. You're right about that. Lamar Jackson's also 37, the 12th prime. Well, Lamar Jackson is a good QB to get his 118th win against. The point I was making, okay, so I'm just having another thought now. In light of what you guys brought up about December 22nd equaling 87, if the Redskins were to upset the Titans, both of them would be 8-7. And if LA did win at home, the Ravens would fall to 8-7. And only one home team would have won out of these 4 Saturday games. So home teams would be 1-3, LA's 13, and home's 13. So, yeah, Massachusetts is the 6th state. That's right. Ron says, no way Chargers winning tomorrow. You guys really, my advice, I mean, if you got a real strong gut feeling about these games, go for it. But really, I would just watch these Saturday games, get the clues, and then use that knowledge for the Sunday and Monday night football. Because I think there's going to be a lot of games that are pretty clear on Sunday and Monday. And we got to ask ourselves, why are they putting these teams on Saturday? Again, here, let's just go back and look at last week's Saturday games. Just as a reminder, the Texans picked up their 10th win in New York. 10 has the strong relationship with 39. And the Browns, remember the Browns game was about a deeper riddle. It was about Baker Mayfield getting to 6-6, which he should do this week. But we were looking for the 5s last week because it was week 15. 15's the 5th triangular number, and they showed up in the home and away records. Texans became 5-2 away. Jets became 2-5 at home. Browns became 2-5 away. Broncos didn't have a chance at 5. They were the only team that didn't have a connection to to 5. Let me see. There's not a triangular relationship like that this week with week 16. The only things that could make sense with the home and away record for week 16 is, again, 53 is the 16th prime. So, like, for example, the Redskins becoming 5-3, like 53. Chargers would have to lose at home, becoming 5-3. That could make sense. The other thing was we have this 52 date numerology, and 6 has the relationship with 52. So Titans could fall to 5-2 like 52, or they could get their 6th win. And Chargers could get their 6th home win. Both home teams could get their 6th home win on the date with 52 numerology. Yeah, rather than drive myself nuts tonight with these games, again, I'm just going to go with the advice of let's watch these Saturday games, or at least that's what I'm going to do. And I think that'll help clarify things for Sunday. So the 96 thing is what I came into here ready to ride with tonight, but you guys got me thinking some alternative narratives, which I don't mind it. I mean, it's good to have these conversations and look at it from some different angles. But again, when we do the review week after week, we're looking at date numerology, the head-to-head records, and oftentimes the week we're playing in. And 16 and 96 have quite a relationship. So see what happens tomorrow. If the 8-7 thing happens, we need to start keeping in mind the date as words gematria. That's not something I typically do in the decodes, but I have seen that pay dividends before. So, but then again, we start looking at too many things, can add confusion. Omar says Redskins do well with black QBs. That's a good point, Omar, because the first black QB to ever win the Super Bowl was Doug Williams, and they won with 42 points. That's a good point there, Omar. Welcome to the conversation. Yeah, what John's talking about for tomorrow, I do see some riddles on the board for the Steelers to get an upset above the Saints. Steelers are owned by the Jesuit family, the Rooneys, but we'll talk about it tomorrow. Denham says, will both black QBs lose tomorrow? Okay, so I'm just thinking about that in terms of the date. There is something there with that. When you write out 22 in the most pure cipher, it has, or actually, it's not the most pure cipher. It's the reverse reduction cipher. 22 is 42. Lamar Jackson could become 4-2. If you guys want to bet on the Redskins, I'd say do a conservative bet because it'll probably pay well. I mean, there are a lot of numbers on the board for the Titans to win tomorrow, but you guys did make an argument for the Redskins. I wouldn't bet the house and try to become a millionaire, though. So. That is a really good point, Auspicious. I'm glad you said that, man. Titan is also Saturn's most well-known moon. Yeah, there's a book called The Sirens of Titan, and Saturday's named after Saturn. That's a really good point, Auspicious. I was thinking the Titans were good until you guys brought all these narratives about the Redskins. Let's see. But yeah, very good point there. That's a surface level thing that we should have thought of. Sports Gematria also says NFL loves a ratings narrative. Titans and Colts both win, then they'll be in a battle for the last playoff spot. Oh, we've been having a lot of Bears love around here. We've been talking about the Bears for a while now. We've been picking them to win most of their games lately. All right, let me pencil in this note here about All right. That was a really good thought. I just want to remind too that if the Chargers do win and they win out in the year, they finish 13-3, and they do it in Colorado. And Colorado is a good place to do it because it equals 133. The astrology guest speaker, yeah. I'm not sure if he's ever applied it to sports, but I'll talk to him again soon and see if he's ever noticed anything with sports. You guys don't get into a fight about who's better. I mean, I think everybody brings valuable information to the table. You know, sometimes I think some people go a little bit too deep, but sometimes I get proven wrong. So, Lake is putting some money down on the Redskins winning. Well, I hope you win, man. I mean, it'll pay you nicely if you're right, but all right, guys, let's just wrap it up here for tonight. Again, my advice is watch these Saturday games, see what happens, see what we can observe about the ref. The one question I have for the ref in the Ravens game is, we saw 2 weeks ago it seemed to be all about the ref jersey number. If the Ravens win this game, I'm going to assume that the Sunday games, it's all about the ref jersey number again. That's if the Ravens win in this game. The ref's name in Gematria, Clete Blakeman, though, equals 41. Big number in LA. LA's 41-13. Think about all the 41-13 tributes we've seen in the World Series the last 2 years with LA in it. So This is our third week of being, attentive to the referee, the name, the jersey. The name says Chargers, the jersey number says Ravens. And it's an even week. 2 weeks ago in week 14, it was all about the jersey number overwhelmingly. So I'm going to use that for the rest of the Sunday picks. The other thing is if the two teams with a chance to go 9-6 do, remember 1696. That was the thing that I was really keyed into. And again, these games on Saturday, they're on the day leaving 9 days left in the year, the 99th NFL season. Two teams with a chance to get to 9 wins on a date with a life lesson number of 45, the 9th triangular. So there's a reason they put these games on Saturday. And here, let's just scan through the rest of the games real quick before we sign off and just see who else can get to 9 wins this week. Not there. The Cowboys can potentially get to 9 weeks, but they're playing on the day leaving 8 days left in the year. I just want to see how many other teams have a chance to get to 9 wins that aren't playing on this day. So the Cowboys are 1. The Colts are 1. The Steelers are 1. So 3 other teams so far. The Seahawks are 1. 4 other teams. There's 4 other teams that have a chance to get to 9 wins. Seahawks, Steelers, Colts, Cowboys. All right, you guys. Wish I could give you something more definitive tonight. I was thinking the Titans were safe, but they're not a good payout anyway. They're big favorites. So, you'd want the Redskins to be the team to make anything off this. And again, if you like to take a risk, the Redskins, they do have a little riddle on the board. This observation about the 87-222 thing with December 22nd, that is really interesting because of how it lines up with the Redskins quarterback's birthday. That's pretty amazing. So, I don't know. Josh Johnson going to come in and do some things? We'll find out soon enough. But yeah, Sports Gematria makes a good point too about Tennessee finishing 10-6. Tennessee 106 could very well happen. Right. Omar, that was part of the reason we liked the Redskins before the season began, because of the year 87 and this being their 87th NFL season. But Alex Smith tied into a lot of the riddle, and now his leg's busted. So, all right, you guys. If you want to bet tomorrow, go with your gut. Jeremy's here. What's up, Jeremy? Well, Jeremy, we're pretty torn this week on the Saturday games. My advice is to watch the riddles that play out tomorrow, and then we'll be back tomorrow at the regular time, 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 Eastern, to do the rest of the games. And while we're doing the decode, we'll be able to see what plays out. These things we're looking at. Sports Gematria is thinking the same way I was before. So, Sports Gematria, what you're saying is what I was saying at the beginning, but a lot of people brought some nice narratives to the table for the Redskins and made me go, maybe you got a point. But I do suspect the Titans will prevail. That's why I said if you want to take that risky bet on the Redskins, I wouldn't bet the house. But, if you like to take a gamble, I'm sure it'll pay out well if they do win. All right, you guys. Again, wish it was more clear. We'll be back tomorrow. While we're decoding, we'll see these games play out. And I think we're going to do a good job Sunday. There's some games that have a real good read for Sunday. And I don't know. Just again, I'd watch those Nines tomorrow. 9 days left in the year, 99th NFL season. We've seen what the Nines have done this year. So, thanks, Ronald. Yeah, we were thorough, but I never feel right when we're not a little bit more definitive about the picks. So, it is what it is. Oh, here, let's look at the I just out of curiosity, I got to see what's going on in the Lakers game. I'm having trouble imagining LeBron not getting his 21st win on the 21st against the Pelicans. Still a lot of game left. Well, we'll see what happens there. But LeBron's going for his 21st win against the Pelicans on the 21st, plus Lakers equals 21. Oh, and the other thing to think about that in light of football is if the Lakers do win tonight, they get their 19th win of the season over the New Orleans team. And remember, Saints equals 19, the football team in New Orleans. A lot of times we see these cross-sport riddles. So if the Lakers do get that win, think about it, because Los Angeles and New Orleans are the top teams in the NFC. I'm interested what the final score is in that game if we get a basket or a football clue. All right, you guys, we'll be back tomorrow. Have a good rest of your night. Good luck for those of you who are making picks tomorrow. Take care.